Well, what's up, folks? Here we are. We're here at the Babcast. It's starting up, man. What's going on? We're here with Chris Consavage, my buddy of many, many, many years. What's going on, man?
We were a lot younger back then.
A lot younger.
A lot younger.
Funny thing is, we don't look that different.
I know. We
I
figured
mean,
out some kind of secret to life, and I don't know what it is. I'm not going to share it here today.
no. I mean, I think mine is just my grandfather. I don't know. It's just what it is. I I I had dark hair. I had like black hair when I used to dye it, but other than that, I don't look that different, like at
Yeah.
all.
You know what? I think it
In the
comes from
end,
my grandfather too. So that actually might be the secret. I'm gonna just
I'll
nailed
see
it.
that. And unfortunately, we both do not have kids. So,
Did you just say unfortunately?
well, unfortunate for them because
Ah,
they would
yes.
probably grow old and look young like we are.
True,
You
true.
know. So unfortunate for sorry guys, the girls. You know, as far as I know, I have no children. No.
Yeah, we might want to edit that out. Get some emails coming through.
Listen, I've always been a very very safe boy, so you know what can you
Hey,
say?
yeah, that's all you should say.
No one's coming after me. No one's coming after me. All right,
Dad.
so yeah, here it is. This is the Babcast. Everybody's been kind of waiting for it, and by I mean everybody, it's probably like 20. So maybe more. Hopefully,
Well,
we'll get more.
four additional people after I pitched it really hard last night. So
Oh, yeah, well,
yeah,
see that? That's why I got you on here, because you'll just speak the gospel while I am editing away constantly.
I, I'm a marketing machine. Yes.
See? Perfect. Perfect. So anybody, you need marketing, go to Chris. Just use this as a judgment because this Babcast is going all the way to the top. I don't know I mean, I don't know what you're saying, but I know it's already there.
I mean, I might have said that it's already there.
Oh, now we got shoes to fill.
You know,
Ah, damn it. All right. All right.
it's like, what's your
Ooh.
viewership? I'm like, I
I
don't
think,
know, a couple million. Like, I think it's safe to say at this point.
yeah. Well, I think, we'll be big in Russia. I think we'll be big in England. That's where a lot of my viewers come from, and also America. I think that's my top three: England, Russia, America. So
Really?
the
So
Great
so
Union.
so mine's like China and various points in South America.
China, really? Wait, how VPNs? I think it's got to be VPNs.
I guess like when I go through my website tracking and stuff like that. Yeah.
So yeah, I do. I have followers that cause see that's the thing. I clearly everybody knows I do a lot of sunset, sunrises, and sky, and I seems to be like the people of China love the sky. So I do actually. I have one guy. Oh, it's I forget the tag. I'll have to look it up. I can put it in when we get back. But he does some awesome stuff, and he like his time lapses like almost every day. He'll do hours long, so it's really cool. They call it the
Oh, that's
Holy
awesome.
Grail time lapse, is what they call it.
What the full
It's when you
day?
get full day or like a full cycle, from like night to day. So like what I do, but with a drone, I only get to fly, 20 minutes. So I throw a battery in and I go right back up. So
I was gonna ask, is that because of battery? You
yeah,
get
yeah.
maximum 20 minutes of flight time.
Yeah, well, 20 minutes of like doing because like I'm constantly taking photos. So the more things the drone's doing, the more battery power it's taking. Um, so
For some reason, I thought the camera was like a separate charge. That's good to know. See, I'm learning stuff
no,
already.
well, FPVs they'll have like a GoPro strapped to it, so that's obviously separate from the batteries. So I mean, you can get a lot of but FPVs, man, those things are flying fast. So those little ones, but they usually have GoPros or like Insta cam on them or something like that.
Are those the ones that they do the competitions where they're like zipping through like
Yeah, they
lights
use
and stuff and like around
yeah, so
obstacles?
that's
Okay.
yeah, so they use those as I think well, yeah, those are FPVs. Um but I think there are people that also race in just watch the drone. Like, they don't have goggles on. I think, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it. And those guys are nasty. I don't know how they do it. It's all
That's
muscle memory.
that's impressive. Like with all that
Yeah, it's
spatial recognition, not actually seeing where it's going. That's wild.
like, yeah, you can hardly see it with your eye. It's going so fast, and these guys are flying through, little. I don't know what are they. I don't know the name of them, but like little squares, like hollow squares, and there's, I guess, like you were a skier or something going through the snow.
That's wild.
Yeah. So again, this is the Babcast. What the Babcast is pretty much we don't know at the moment. We're gonna figure it out, but we're gonna continue to grow and we're gonna find our niche. And so right now, basically, it's just about art and everything it encompasses, which is a lot. And then we're just gonna have conversations, and we're gonna check out some news around the industry, and yeah, we're just gonna have fun with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much all my life is. So, uh, and I know Chris, that's pretty much all his life is too. So maybe a
Living
little
in a
bit of a
constant
little
state
whiskey
of
here, but
yep, experimentation, right? We're just gonna try some stuff out, see what sticks, and yeah, have some fun while we're doing it too. And hopefully everybody out there too enjoys watching because
yeah,
that's
I mean,
another big factor that's gonna contribute to our success. So.
right, yeah. So because we want feedback, we want people to. I mean, I encourage people to email us. I don't have an actual email for the podcast yet, but I will probably by the time I put it up. So I'll throw it down in there too. But you can also comment on anything that this video is on, whether it be YouTube, through Instagram, and we're also going to have like polls go out and questions, seeing what you guys want us to talk about. I have the drone one coming up in February, so I already have a bunch of questions for that people have asked. So, I mean, that's what it is. It's going to be a community podcast. And because really, I mean, we're going to be so, fine pointed into something, pigeonholed, I guess you could say, that we're not looking for super mass exposure because that would be ridiculous, So, we
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
love art, and anything to do with it. It's me and Chris both have been, like immense artists in everything we do. There's you can put an artistic touch in everything you do, and if you're a true creative, then that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, we're the type of people that just never gave up on it, and I don't think we ever will. So, and as long
Yeah.
and you know what, if I ever hit success, like where I can say retire as like a full-time artist, I'll be super happy. But if I don't, like, it's still a fun ride and I'm still super pumped about it. So
Well, see, that was the thing for me is I never. I mean, we were going to go into this later, I guess, but for me, with money and art, mixing it together was something I never wanted to do. I hated the thought of it. It was always, I just want to make the stuff I make. And the minute you start putting money into the equation, then you start having to do things that you don't want to do because they want you to do it. And then for me personally, I'd start to lose the passion in that, or I'd have to like try to force myself into figuring out how to be passionate about that. And a lot of
it
times
can add extra pressure for sure.
oh my God, so much pressure, too
So
much
much.
pressure. And I just hated it. I hated it. Like I was like, why can't we live in this beautiful world where like everybody's just like can be an artist and and just do that and be happy and be fulfilled and satisfied in life and have your needs take care of. But it's like, no, you can't do that. You got to go out and live life. And you can either, do this, something you're super passionate about, and let it destroy you in a way, or you can go do something, which is what I've always chosen, do something different that allows you the time and the money to go then do the passion that you want on your own time and do it strictly for you and how it, just it's what it's a self-fulfilling thing, being an artist.
Yeah, I think I run into the opposite problem on that, where I'm just too drained by a day job that I actually don't care about at all. But it's the necessity, right? Like you've got to keep the lights on. pay for the studio, pay for the equipment, all that stuff. That like I find myself in the opposite situation where like I don't have the energy to create sometimes. Where like I know I should be creating more, but I'm just too mentally wiped. Um, and almost like feeling like beaten down too. Like a lot of positions now in the modern world are just completely useless, right? Like I sit there and I shoot emails off all day, and I'm like, well, this is not what I'm supposed to do. And I feel like there's probably a lot of people in between, you and I too, in various levels, that are dealing with the same thing. So,
Has to be. Absolutely. I met plenty of them in my life, but musicians, it's always been a big thing. That's always, it's like a tough stigma.
well, we both used to
So,
work retail, so we run into everything from like aspiring musicians, models, artists, like everybody at some point in
well,
that
retail
group
is
has
like a
probably worked in
melting
retail.
pot. Yeah. It's the melting pot of America. I mean, maybe other countries too, I don't know, but retail is absolutely the melting pot of America. You meet everybody, every walk of life. I mean, I've met people that have ran companies and have just been kind of down and out and are just like, I needed a job. So,
Well,
and yeah, and if you, I would say that there, in a way, there's got to be like, there's like a retail education. Like, there's like, you go to school and you get education, but sometimes in retail you get an education too, a very good one if you stop and actually listen to people. Which is, I mean, I love to listen. That's why I love podcasts. That's why, I mean, you look at my YouTube, it's just people talking, and
yeah.
I just listen, listen, listen. So I've done that my whole life, and in retail, since you meet so many different types of people, you hear so many different, and like, you feel like a little Joe Rogan. You're just like, you've listened to everybody and everything, and as long as you've paid attention to that and actually considered the things that people say, you get an education. You can start making your own, you know, opinions of things and taking what they say and, pushing away some of the other things. But it's 100% like the way to learn the culture in America, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a from a sociology point of view too, like it's the best people watching like on the planet. You get to see everything.
100%. And you get to have a lot of fun. And if you can make it out of retail in this world, congratulations, because it can also be the worst hell in the world.
It has its downsides for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
called
was a good move. I'm glad I got out when I did. But
yeah. So, well, that brings us to this then, I guess, since we sidetracked on things.
oh
Who are
yeah,
you, Chris? Tell me, tell my followers, the people watching this, also who you are, what you do. Give a little background of what you're doing now and how we met. How you know. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So we met in retail, which I guess pulls it all together. We worked at the same clothing store. I won't disclose, but yeah, and we were connected instantly. Been friends ever since. Went through a patch of not talking to each other for a while, but as as all
I
things
mean, we
happen.
recently just went through one of those now too.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
go
we
through
just
them quite a bit.
yeah, there's like a separation sometimes, but here we are doing a podcast now, so that's just
Yeah.
how life is, and obviously that connection runs fairly deep. So
Yeah,
um,
that's the thing. It doesn't, you don't need to, you don't need to constantly be. There's people out there that you can take 3 years away from really talking to them much, the
mhm,
occasional, "Hey man, what's going on?" But other than that, I haven't really seen you in years.
no, no, and I'll say this too, like I feel like we inspire each other, artistically and just in general in life, and that's something that's definitely been constant. Like you could just pitch ideas to this dude, and like he'll just go with it, right, and like have positive, meaningful feedback, which is great. And that's something I got, hats off to you. I'm not taking my hat actually off because my hair's a mess today, but but no, I think that's really important. So I'm a
So
fine
what
art photographer now. Continue with the intro, right? I do a lot of like really moody kind of scenic work. mostly like black and white, low light photography. So I spent a lot of time with a tripod with long exposures. I've been on that
Cities.
kick for a while. Yep, I've been on that kick for quite a while actually, and I don't see that going away anytime soon.
So do you feel like you want to branch off anytime, or like do you ever get that feeling, or do you pretty much just stuck in what you that's your thing, you know?
I have actually, the last couple of years I've branched off and really went into more of like vibrant, very well lit scenes with a lot of vibrant colors. But when I look at the portfolio, it doesn't look like it's cohesive. So as I'm putting more focus on a career as a fine art photographer, I'm really starting to think back about my art school days, making sure that that portfolio really has a clear message, um, has a clear meaning. So I think that that long is something unique to me, right? Like, so that's something you don't see a lot of. And I think I do it very well. So I like experimenting with other things, and I'll still continue to do so. But I think like the foot that I'm putting forward is definitely going to be that style.
Yeah. No, that's what I've always liked that about your style. And you helped inspire me to mess around with that too, because I was never like that, like really before I met you. And then, I started listening to the more like metal and the emo stuff. So I started getting that, hey Pete, started getting
It,
that dark, that edgier, darky feel, oh, I'm such a emo weird guy. And but I remember we used to film like, and then I went on a spree just filming stuff that was just dark and like, moody and depressing. But I liked it. Like it was really I loved it. I would start looking at like trees and be like, oh, that's creepy. I like that and the fog and everything. And I would never look at that stuff before. So I think you rubbed off on me with that, and especially in city stuff when we would go walk around the cities and take pictures. That was like super inspiring.
oh, so many Philly trips, man. They were great. Well, until we went to
Oh
see
yeah.
that show that was canceled as soon as we got there. That was still
Oh
a
yeah.
fun day though.
Hope's
We actually had a
Fall.
fun time.
I was like, how funny is that? We go to see Hope's Fall and turn the corner. Hope's Fall canceled. It's like Hope's really fall. Like I was like, dang.
Yeah,
I was so excited for that show.
yeah,
I
that was
think
quality.
they might have put something out recently. I'm not sure. I'll have to look, but
But
they
that's
kept they were cool. A lot of people like dropped off of them because they changed their sound. But if you're a band, you're gonna change your sound. You need to.
you
I
should at some point, right? Like,
Yeah, you have to. That's
yeah,
100%. Fight me over this.
you can't
Comment
release
down
the same
below.
album 5 times.
No, it's funny because I used to be one of those guys that used to be like that. I'd say, man, like this song, like I miss the band that I loved, and you don't realize though, because then because I've known a few bands also that started doing that. They just went back on their kick and just kept churning them out, and I was just like, I'm bored now. You
Hmm.
do get tired of the same sound. So I 100% believe in bands need to change. Like they need to evolve their sound for sure.
Yeah, and that's a good, developing your art's like along the same lines, but it's also good to have a niche, right? Like something you're good at. Like
Right.
correct me if I'm wrong on this, but like your work is very similar to mine, where we're really just capturing a mood and a scene. Like there's not any kind of, you know, real deep messaging behind it.
Right.
Am I assuming too much? But like that's how it is for me. I'm just capturing something I
No,
see and
you're
it
you're
evoks
on base. Yeah, you're on base. Yeah, yeah.
something.
I just think my niche is I have a special talent mixing. I hear sound or music and being able to match that with what I filmed or shot. I you know I've always been like a music video guy. That's all I ever did. Everything I always did had music matched up onto it. So now with my drone shots, that's pretty much my workflow. I just go through songs, and when something, I have the idea, or I have the image of what I shot in my head, And
Mhm.
then as I'm listening to the song, I'll be like, wow, that would be perfect, and I think I do pretty okay. People have said, this goes so well. I've gotten a lot of comments with that. So I do
I'll
feel
vouch for
like that.
that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do feel that's my thing. If someone had a thing, what is that? Isn't there a word for that when you like can match music with visuals?
Oh, I'm sure
I
there
feel
is. I don't know. I don't know what it is though. You can
we're gonna
Google it
take a
though.
detour
Yeah.
here, and I'm gonna look this thing up. Hold on.
Let's
So
figure that out.
talk a minute while I look this up.
Yeah, no, he's checking it out. So since he's Googling that, that popped in my head like the people that can taste color. Ever hear about that?
Yeah, wasn't that synesthesia or
So
something?
so what's it called to taste color? So
So
I'm
I'm
Googling
trying
that.
to think
So
matching visuals with
I can't pronounce
with
that.
music. Is there a
Synesthesia?
term?
Synesthesia is what
Yeah, that's
happens
the
when
one.
any two of our senses cross over. Oh, okay, so it's the same.
Oh, synesthesia?
Hmm.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm a synesthesiologist then.
There you go.
PhD. You were gonna say
I was
it.
gonna say it. I did
Yeah,
not
I
though,
saw it. I see
because
you like mouthed it, bro. I'm telling you, I saw it.
that's fine. You can't get kicked off YouTube for mouthing it, I think.
No, not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
We'll find
Not
out.
yet. So yeah, so do you think you explained yourself enough, Chris? Do you think there's anything else you want
I
to add on that?
I think that's definitely enough for now. I feel like people will get to know me more, as we continue this podcast. That's for sure.
Right, yeah. So Chris
And
is gonna be the co-host, the co-pilot to my crazy ship we're flying here, for until I get tired of him and kick him off.
yeah, and then I'll just
It's just,
I'll have a real weird podcast
bro, I would have done a
after that.
podcast years ago if I wanted to do one alone. I probably have
Yeah.
45 movies made if I could just do them alone, but I
Well, you're
there's
gonna have to
there's not
start
a lot of
making
people out
movies.
there that, yeah. I mean, I still have so many ideas. I just, that I don't have time for at all. Like I said, that's why I like I think what we said in the test cast. I like what I do because it fits my lifestyle right now very, very well. It
Right.
allow like I can manage both my day job and what I do and anything I do outside of that, because of it, like side work. I can fit it all in.
Yeah.
And I'm tired, but I've always naturally just been like ADD head, so like I find the energy. Years, I mean, I went through, like you were saying, how you like you basically just like had that drive, but you just been tired. Like
Yeah.
that was me for years. Like I gave up on all of my passions, like all of them. Like I just was depressed, tired. I mean, like you said, I in the past. So like when my dad died back in, when I was like 24, that like super driven me to like do stuff. Remember, I was like
Hmm.
making stuff all the time. I was like grabbing her. You guys used to call me like Mr. Motivator or something like that,
Oh
because
yeah,
it was like,
actually, I
oh,
think
come
that
on,
was
guys.
Mr. Motivator.
Yeah, I'd be like, we were gonna do something. Come on. I would get the whole group and I'd be like, we're going to film a movie, and
Yeah.
we will watch one of those on one of the podcasts.
And they're all pretty good too, which is like the best part about that story is
I
like
mean, I
all
watch
those
them and I
like
go, this is junk, but
no, but they're entertaining. Like they were definitely like not bad. Yeah, you should be proud of yourself on that one.
I just need to die for somewhere. I need the actual audio. I had all that stuff on a DVDs. I burned years and years ago. I burned like 10 DVDs, and uh, like to give out and like give people. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
I had like 4 laying around my house, like my last place, and I don't know where they went. So I think I have a case for one.
Well, you have Be
That's
My Hero because I think you submitted that to a film festival, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah,
right? Or it was like a
yeah.
contest or something like that.
Is for that. I don't. So the TV show did air. It was about like you had to submit, and then it was like a reality show. where you like made like little films every week. It was like, and then they voted you off kind of
Oh, oh,
thing.
that's cool.
Yeah. So, but that's on YouTube. So that's been on YouTube. Um, my Anatomy of a Ghost music video, that's like the highest viewed video I've ever had, and it's been on YouTube for like 15 years or something, but that's like 60 or 80,000 views. But that's because nobody has like Anatomy of the Ghost footage, like because they're
Really?
no longer around. They turned into Portugal the Man and started winning Grammys. Who would have known, bro? That the singer gave me a
Oh, wow.
flower. Yeah, like what? So I used to work at a quick sidekick here. I used to work at the record store, and I think this was before I knew you. I used
This
to
was
run
the
a
record
record
store you
store.
took me to, right? It was around the time you took me to the vault. There was a
Yeah,
record store you
yeah.
brought me
So,
up to. Was
oh
that the
yeah, I
same
guess
one?
yeah. Oh yeah, because I met you like 6 months after. So yeah,
It
yeah,
was like
that
right when
record
you
store.
moved down like to my area is like when we
Right.
connected.
That
Yeah,
was
you
it.
weren't there
Yeah,
for
and
very
it
long.
was the
Okay.
vault where they played. So when I ran this record store, there was this band Anatomy of the Ghost that I like loved from. They were like out in Oregon on a small label called Rise Records. I believe it was Rise. And
I don't think that's a
so
small label, is it?
not anymore. No, not anymore. It's
Yeah.
not. They became like a huge metal label. So I could order in CDs and I loved the CDs. So I kept ordering them in and I kept selling them because I'd tell everybody that was like into the music scene like I was. I was like, here, man, buy this. This is great. So I sold like 35, 40 copies of the CD out of my store. And then I started doing um street team stuff for the label. Yeah, so it was Rise Records because then they send me out boxes of like merchandise to like take to shows and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I've sold tons of your album for Anatomy of a Ghost. So they were going on tour, he told us. So I talked to the guy at the vault and he was like, oh, I'll bring him in. So we brought him in and they came. And that's when I was doing video stuff. And I was like, hey, man, what was his name? I forget his first name, but uh, I was like, "Hey, man," I was like, "I can shoot video for you." And he's like, "Oh, that'd be great." And I was like, "Yeah, I can make a little video." He's like, "Oh, that'd be great." He was like, "Hold on a second." And he came back and he had a flower. And he was like, "Here, man, I picked this for you." And I was like, "Well, thanks, dude."
Thanks,
I
bro.
don't, yeah, I was like,
Awesome.
it's him, the bassist, and I believe the drummer. And they started Portugal the Man after Anatomy of a Ghost broke up, and then Portugal the Man went on for like 8 years without like not even ever being heard, other than people that remembered Anatomy of a Ghost. And then
Wow.
they had that one hit song that came out like 4 or 5 years ago, and then they won a Grammy. Haven't heard anything since, but I was just like, wow. I was like, that's so odd. I was like, well, now I can say like I've personally done something for a person that won a Grammy, just way in the
Uh,
future.
just way in the future. Hey, it still they won a Grammy.
Yeah.
It's yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was that. I don't even remember how we got there. So
No, we're not going to remember until we watch this again. But this is what a podcast is about, though, right?
it is.
So,
That is exactly what a podcast is about. So welcome
yeah.
again. I love you all. I'm so happy you're here. So I did that. I did that thing NGL or something. NGL Anonymous on my Instagram. It's like a way to send
Hey, what is that?
like questions or posts to somebody anonymously. Because you know, like people sometimes they like, I don't want to say anything. I don't want them to know that I'm saying that. Like you want to give somebody a compliment, but you just want to give the person a compliment, but maybe you don't want any attention back. You know what I
Oh, I
mean?
see. Okay.
So I made one and I put it up and I was like, hey, in case anybody feels weird about like, like saying give or criticizing me too. That's what I wanted to know. I was like, please
Oh,
critique my work. Please, I like critiquing, but some people definitely don't like to critique people because, then they're like, oh, I don't hate you. Some people just can't take criticism.
as long as it's
So
constructive, like there's nothing wrong with it. Like,
yeah, it's not like,
man,
blow me, you know?
which is still kind of
um,
funny.
yeah.
If that's
Yeah.
our first comment, though, to this podcast, like, I think that's a success.
It's success. Success. Great.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So anyway, so I started this and anything I've gotten back, it's just been like, you're so humble, you're so kind. I'm like, oh, that makes me feel humbled and happy, I guess. But
That's
I
awesome.
still haven't gotten any like constructive criticism. I'm waiting for it. So if you guys go to my Instagram, criticize me, criticize the crap out of me. I was
Yes.
PG-13. Yeah. So what do you think? You think we should get into this first topic today?
Yeah, yeah. I was going to let everybody know that we actually do have an outline of topics, contrary to what you
Yeah,
might
yeah, we do.
believe
I
right
completely
now.
forgot
That
the banners.
we
I
do have it.
completely forgot the banners. Here we go.
Oh, we just made the
Welcome
banners.
to Babcast. So just so you guys know, we are going to have an audio version of this and also a video version that'll be up on YouTube and probably Facebook. Um, and if I can get it on I don't know if Instagram does long form stuff anymore. I don't know. So
Well,
anything I can get it on that's long form, it'll be there. Trust me, I'll get it there. And if there's
my
anywhere you want it to be, Rumble, I'm probably gonna put it on Rumble because I did start a Rumble account.
what is Rumble?
It's like an alternative YouTube, but they
Oh,
do
cool.
pay you. It is monetized. So, but
That's
it's
nice.
everybody calls it the right wing, conspiracy YouTube, stay
Oh,
away.
it's the tinfoil hat YouTube. Sweet. I'm in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna put it on Gab or what's the other one?
Oh, the one where everybody's
There's
wearing 511 tuxedos.
I don't know. Maybe I'll put it on 4chan. No, I'm just kidding.
Is that still around?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
I
And if
still
it is,
remember
it's
the alien photo that supposedly like broke the internet. I think that's the only reason I know 4chan.
really. I mean, I've just watched too many YouTube videos about the horrible things that go down on 4chan.
The internet's a creepy place.
It is. It very much is.
But I think you can put this on Instagram because, well, I don't know however long it actually ends up being, but I posted I think a 3 minute video just as a post. It wasn't a reel. It was just
Yeah,
post the
yeah,
video,
yeah.
and that seemed to work out okay. So
Yeah, I don't know what the cutoff is. It's probably like 15 minutes or 10. I think
well,
TikTok allows 10 minutes. So, I mean, you'll find segments of the podcast on, Instagram and
part
TikTok,
one,
but
two, three, maybe four.
yeah, and I don't, I'm, so here's my issue is do I start a Babcast Instagram?
I would
Because,
say absolutely. Yeah, and
okay.
the Babcast Reddit page,
Yeah,
especially
and do
since
the
we're getting a
Babcast
lot of
Reddit page because
our articles from there.
I want them sweet, sweet Redditors. I want them sweet, sweet Redditors to leave the
S-
worst things in the world. I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please
Send the karma and the hilarious comments. That's all
meme
it's
the
there for.
shit out of me. Yeah. Here we go. There you go. There's one for you. Screenshot that.
Yeah, I already did. It's happening right now. I'll be the first one on there with it.
Oh my gosh. All right. So yeah, so that's our banners. They're gone now. So we are going to get into our first topic because we are 33 minutes in and we just got through introductions and BSing.
Wow, we're 33
Yeah.
minutes in
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Time flies when you're being stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, All right. So our first topic, everybody knows what it's going to be because I've been talking about it for weeks now, maybe a month. Bam, baby. AI art. What will happen?
Skynet.
Oh, so AI art has been a divisive topic to say the least, and we've all seen it. It went on a complete viral tirade with everybody downloading that one app and like making 45 photos of their face, just giving that company all your information, like, and giving that AI bot so much info.
That was the
So,
scammy face scanner, right? Where like it aged you or something or showed you what you look like as the
well,
opposite sex. Was that the
you
same one
know,
or
I don't know. Terrible podcaster here because I didn't actually put the name of that program, but it's the one that everybody like downloaded over the past like month, say month and a half ago. Like
oh, it's
everybody
recent.
and their
Okay.
mother, yeah, everybody and their mother was posting AI selfies of themselves. Um, to each your own. I like let your freak flag fly in my life. Well, that's a tongue
That
twister.
was rough.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't really care. But what I care is the fact that you have to sign all these permissions to allow this app to basically rifle through all your photos, um, to then construct, what it wants to construct. But then it also takes the information from everybody else's phones, you know,
Hmm.
to help construct things. So,
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you see your likeness in like a non-playable character in like the metaverse, after that, right? Like they're
well,
like, oh
yeah,
wait, that's me. Like, why is that me? That's weird.
so, there was, people started getting photos back of themselves provocatively,
Oh,
to
wow.
be PG-13. Um, so they're like, well, why is this AI thing know how to do that? Well, well, you have provocative photos in your phone. There you go.
Yeah, and
So
if the
that's
AI like engine searches like, common internet search terms and stuff like that, like the internet's a
yeah,
pretty
exactly.
gnarly place. So it's getting a lot of
Yeah.
really weird things, like what, like the racist chat bots and stuff like that. Remember that?
Yeah, oh yeah, the Chat GPT thing.
Hmm.
And there was the guy from Google that came out and said this thing's sentient. But then
I
there was
read
people that
that,
came out and said this guy's crazy. It's not sentient. It's just going off of, chat patterns and recognition and yada yada yada.
which
So,
is exactly
but
what they would say if it were sentient.
right, that's what the Terminator would say.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, that's me, like, and I've always been like a huge proponent of technology and like, I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
remember me 10 years ago, I was like, gotta have that, gotta have that. 15 years
You
ago,
were one of
gotta
the
have this.
first people to try something new, like, and that's awesome. I'm on the other hand, am like the last person to try something because I want to make sure
I'm
it
gonna
works, or
meet
else I'm gonna be frustrated. Like,
I'm gonna me too myself right now. I held having a girl, uh, me going back out with a girl for a Sony PSP. Do you remember that?
no, I don't. I remember wanting a Sony PSP really bad.
Yeah, well, bro, I would, no way am I like that anymore. Like,
No, this
trust
is a
me.
long
But
time ago, everybody.
yeah, this
Like,
is a long time
this is a
ago.
long time ago.
But I will speak my crimes. Uh, and I've apologized for that, of course. Um, but yeah, so like I always needed that next new thing. I was like, give me that hit, baby. Like, I'll give it to me. But now I'm like, oh, damn, I don't want that. Like, because I shouldn't touch that. And like, or my other big thing is like I just hate how you buy something and you're like, cool, I love this thing, and then next year it's like, hey, check it out, we updated the crap out of it. You want the new version, and you're like, well, what
Yeah.
is my version stupid now? Like that takes
No.
in the drone world, that is like that's how things go, man. Like,
Well, that's still actually kind of relevant, I'm assuming, in the drone world because it's still fairly new technology. So I would imagine that those upgrades are actually probably pretty kick-ass, right?
I mean,
Like if you get an extra 10 minutes of flight time somehow, like that would be
oh
cool.
yeah, yeah. But
But if
that's
you're
the thing.
not,
It'll
like,
say that. It'll say, "Oh, you get 10 extra minutes." But then the minute you start doing something, it just doesn't really, because now you're filming in a higher resolution, and it's like, or you have to read the fine print. It'll be like, 40 minutes of flight time if recording in 1080p,
or like optimal weather conditions, like if it's 75
Right. Yeah.
degrees and
No
dry,
wind.
like,
You're 100 feet off the ground where the air is thick and it can keep it. That was one of the
Mhm.
craziest things when I became a drone pilot is learn like this obviously from just knowing how the world works usually, but you don't think about it. But it was like the higher you go in the sky, it takes more energy for the drone to work because the air is thinner. So it
Yep.
actually has to work harder to keep itself there when you're 400 feet up compared to like 100 feet. The air
How,
starts thinning out. Now 400 feet isn't that bad, but if you're up on a mountain that's 1500 feet, you know
you've already got
then
that elevation to work with. Yeah.
yeah,
How
yeah,
high does a
yeah.
drone go up? Like if you're at sea level?
So you cannot go higher than 400 feet of where you launch, but unless you're Part 107 certified pilot and doing like an inspection on a building or something, you can be on
Okay.
the ground and go 400 feet above the building. Like, you
Oh
can
wow.
be yeah, but normally it's, where you stand and take off 400 feet. Like, that's it.
And that's not the
Now I've seen
certification that
videos
you have, is it?
online. What?
Do you have a certification? Is that the same one
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a license. Yeah, I have an
So you can do
actual.
a drone inspection, like if you, I guess,
Yeah,
took whatever course
yeah.
that
Well,
was.
you need a license to make money. That's
Okay.
the thing. Like, you can't do anything commercially, whether it be photography, getting paid for reels online, like media content, anything.
Oh, I
You
didn't I
can't.
didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Now I guarantee you, there's a lot of people skating that rule, but
I'm
um,
sure.
yeah. But and it used to be every 2 years, but by the time I got into droning, they just passed it where it's just a one-time license. You pass.
Mhm.
You have to take a test. Pay money. Then You got to go to like a pilot or a airport, take a test. If you pass, then you get everything.
Oh, that's cool. You got to go to an airport to take the test. That's fun.
Yeah, and it was like this little one, and it was cool because I watched a helicopter take off, and I was like, never been that close
Ah,
to a helicopter taking off.
oh, that's rad. That's
Yeah, we
awesome.
we used to have we used to have them go down. Remember that house I lived in Jersey with my ex, the little
Yeah.
farmhouse out in like like when I was in like outside of central Jersey. Um, they the I guess the medics used to use that as a life flight pickup. So I used to have them all the time, like, and that was like right down the road in a field. So they used to come down all the time and go up like in the middle of the
Oh,
night. I'd be like, "What is going on?"
oh, that makes sense. Right there by the hospital and then the major highway where everything like
Yeah,
always gets,
yeah,
mangled a little bit. Yep.
yep.
Huh.
So anyway,
Forgot about that house.
s-
So yeah,
so
AI
that was
art.
so AI art, Babcast,
We're not
where
doing
nothing
topics ever again.
where nothing gets done. Um,
No.
So anyway, so about I mean, we were on it and then we veered off because of it all. But so anyway, about this, I did find an article that I want to go over because this well, I guess did we explain it enough what it is? Yeah, it's a AI art.
And I'm
It's an
I'm
alg
I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say like everybody has at least heard of it.
right. It's
It's
an
like
amalgamation of like all the art in the world basically that you feed into it so it can learn it and then it can pump back an image just by what you type out.
mhm.
And that's how you edit it too. You by like changing code words. It's not you do no art. You just it's strictly words, and you build it with words. Which I again is that an art?
It's a Google image
I
search
don't
at
know,
at
man.
at best. Like
That's where like art is crazy, man.
like I don't
It's
know. I think at some point you have to have a hard line of like what is art and what isn't art. And that line
yeah, but
might like move depending on the actual thing, right? Like I don't think it's set in stone, but like I feel like there are some things that you could say like are not art. Like if I just like toss this Truly can on my floor right now, I'm like, is that a performance piece? If I say it is, maybe. But like I don't think so. I think I just, try to be an ass. Like
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd say there are definitely people taking advantage of calling things art. So I have this article and I found it a few days now ago. I think it's 6 days. We're gonna share. So, audio listeners, we are going to read it, but we are sharing a screen if you want to check it out. Anything that's visual, you can check it out on YouTube or any of the other places that we put it. Again,
yeah, we
so
have
here
we
we
have a
go.
few social media accounts to create after this.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be a lot of cross posting. So I would say, I mean, I enjoy listening to you. I enjoy listening to podcasts on YouTube because I do like to put a face to a voice a lot of times, and I feel like you do get a closer connection to people when you see them because of their
Mhm.
mannerisms and But some people just love the sound of voices, and that's cool too. I used to listen to podcasts like in the car all the time,
Yeah, on a
but when
long
I'm home.
trip, it's great. Like
Yeah, when I used to drive to South Carolina, I just podcasts the whole way. Or I'd go like 3 hours of podcast, an hour of music, back to, 3 hours of podcast.
that's a long drive. I don't know how you did the
Yeah.
Florida drives. Like I'd lose it.
Oh, the straight, like, 20-hour ones, like, straight
Yep.
through? I just enjoy it, so but okay, here we go. This is our article. AI mis and this comes to us, through a CB Creative blog. I I've seen this article on other places, so I think it's just kind of bouncing all over. I've never read this website, but,
Nor have I.
so yeah, it's Creative Block, that's with a Q. Alright, and it's gonna be AI misunderstanding causes outrage on Reddit, our favorite place.
It is our favorite place.
And this is by Tom May, and it was published 6 days ago. So it says Ben Moran or Moran Ben Moran suspended after posting his own artwork on r/art. And I don't know if you guys have ever been on r/art. It is a beautiful place.
It is.
So it says when AI art generators like DALL-E 2 became a thing, illustrators and artists everywhere worried they were going to put them out of a job. So there's been pushback against them. Not least on Reddit, where the subreddit r/art has a rule against posting memes, AI, filters, or other low quality work. And yeah, if you go on there, most of the stuff is all high quality. It's not a lot of like meme garbage. And it's kind of always been that way. And that's why, you can find some really good stuff on there. But how do you enforce such a rule in practice when there's no infallible way to distinguish what's been created by software like DALL-E 2 and what's been created by people? Well, it seems that moderators are basically going on gut feeling, and that's led a working illustrator to be banned for his all too human artwork.
Hmm.
So Vietnamese concept artist Minh An Nguyen Hoang,
Yeah. Yep. I think you got
that's
that.
the best. I think I was pretty close.
I think you're pretty
Who
close,
works
actually.
under the who works under the name Ben Moran, has been banned from r/art for posting a Muse in Warzone created in Photoshop. It's fantastic work, but clearly someone thought it was too good because a moderator flagged it for being AI generated. All right, so here it is. It's a
Moderators are a
oh,
different topic altogether.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
So this picture, I mean, it's a beautiful piece of
it
work. It
is.
is. It's like a woman in it looks like a Romish, Rome style gown with, like, the Eye of Sauron in the back, it looks like,
Oh, that's what that. Yep.
and, some crows over here. Like, it's nice. I like it.
I like it too.
But it's so apparently, though,
It reminds me of that
r/art, the
game.
moderators thought this it's what?
It reminds me of that game, Soul Calibur. Did you ever play that? It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
that's
Soul
how
Calibur
that's
is
how like those
great.
character designs were. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yep. Sophia wins.
Yeah, it's the one with the sword, right? Yeah, the little. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, the sword is I forget what they say,
It was
but
like two swords. Like one was cool, one was bad.
mhm.
Yeah, they're just trying to find it or something like that.
So apparently, the moderators think this was AI, and like when I look at it, to be honest, it it doesn't look AI to me, but in a way, I guess it could. I've seen a lot of AI stuff, and usually you can always find something a little funky. And I feel like this stuff is like the intricate designs on the belt.
Hmm.
I don't know if AI would pull that off um,
No,
as well as he did.
and the colors, like the
So
the color grading matches so well that I feel like from the AI art that I've seen, like there's usually like a little bit more of a contrast. Um,
right.
this looks very intentional.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that feeling from it. It's like well, I mean, here we go. So, well, that's we can again, be a visual watcher of this because we're gonna go through some stuff here. So this is an AI. It's called ArtStation. So this is where you can post all your AI stuff. There was actually a few weeks back. Everybody was posting like an AI, the word AI with like the circle and the what is that, like a do not disturb sign kind of or whatever, or
No,
not the you know
like the don't do it, right? Like
yeah
Ghostbusters.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah, because there was this big movement on stop using AI, but I don't know if that was just people that flooded it or not. But
See, it gets really hard
the
to
big
distinguish
thing,
with the anime type stuff though. Because it looks the same.
yeah, yeah, but like you can usually tell, like you said, the backgrounds usually aren't like, if you
Mhm.
look at some of these backgrounds, they're not super busy like
No.
this guy's was. Like, there's so much going on here that I feel like the AI wouldn't pump that, unless,
No, and the
like
gradient of the
this one you
color was
can
great. Like, look at that one. Yeah.
yeah, so this one, there's always something, just a lot of negative space somewhere
Mhm.
usually. And that's what I usually get the feeling of. Even with this one, it's very detailed, but look at all this negative space. It's just a lot
Yeah, it's almost like the
because
AI focuses just like on the subject and then kind of just,
right. And I don't know if
does a
that's because
secondary
from
job on the background.
right. Do you think that's from just because of typing in the prompts?
Probably, yeah. It's probably only
It's a little bit
focusing on one
bigger
thing. Um,
because that's how it's built. By typing in commands. So I don't know if you have to like type in,
yeah,
oh, make a busier background or something.
because
But
that's the theme on most of these. It's very subject focused.
right.
Like you got your
Yeah, it's
space
it's wild.
commando guy, like your Aztec dude, but then like everything else is just like an afterthought.
Yeah. This is and well, the thing is it's always been you'd always be able to tell by the hands. And so that's why I wanted to go on this site and check it out because I wanted to see, because obviously AI is going to get better once you start pinpointing things it does bad. People are going to start testing it or trying to teach it to do it good. So I was like, okay, well, let me go see if it's getting better at hands. And to be quite honest, it's scary good at hands now.
Is it really? Do you have an example of like bad hands versus like upgraded hands, I guess?
So So I would call well, even these are pretty good. Yeah, I can definitely Google
That's
something
not
real
bad.
quick. Let's see. Google. So bad AI.
Bad AI hands. Okay. Oh, that's just a weird AI hand.
See, it would I'm trying to some of these are total memes.
Yeah, some of these are like
But
the
just yeah,
more
they've
creative ones.
they've always been messed up. Like I guess this was no, I don't know. But like
No,
it's something I should have came prepared with.
no, you're fine.
But yeah, they've always been messed up. Like they've always been messed up. And now they seem to be getting a lot better, and that's scary because I mean, do you personally think that this will take away people's jobs?
I do, yeah. And honestly, my big issue from the beginning with the whole AI art movement is like I just don't see the reason for it. Like it's solving a problem that doesn't exist, right? Like I feel
What you
like
think AI?
wait, go ahead.
You think AR is solving a problem that doesn't exist?
No,
Is that what you said?
that does not exist. Like there's no reason for it. There's no market for it. Like somebody just did this because they could. And
Well, what
like
about someone? Okay, say like me, run a podcast. If I'm not artistic, I can just type in some prompts and get a logo for it. Where normally I'd have to pay like an artist to do it.
I would say that you should pay somebody to do that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Like
right.
that would be my take on it is like you should pay
But
like
that problem is there though, right? I mean that,
yeah,
someone
I see what you're saying.
I guess if you're a freeloader, do you
Yeah.
think it's art?
No, it's not. Like because it's not created by a human being. It's created by an algorithm. Like that's not.
Well, I mean, it's typed in by a human being. Is that art?
No. It's a Google image search. I can't get behind it. I just don't understand the reasoning for it. I don't find it particularly interesting. Although I will give it credit, like there was one cool thing, like when you type in like that end of the world stuff into those things, like they come up with some pretty trippy,
Yeah.
like what was it, the last selfie ever taken? Like
Oh, yeah, I remember
they
that one. That
those
one
are
was good.
actually pretty rad. Um, so I'll have to give it credit like on that, but like it's like, all right, here, follow my art because I typed in these three random words that I created, and then the computer generated this image. Like, I think that's a slap in the face to like people that are actually, conceptualizing those things themselves and then executing on them. So if it is considered art, it should be considered at like a lower class of art. You know what I mean? Versus somebody that's actually like thinking of these things and executing them. Like I don't know. It's
Do you
kind of
think
where.
like do you think like all AI art or something should have like an indicator that says this is AI art?
Yeah, like a big old disclaimer, like right across, like a watermark on it or something. Yep. Just so people, just so people don't know. Because think about like how many artists could probably like lie and say, yeah, I did that. Uh,
Yeah, I could totally see that. Like people being like, I made that.
uh-huh.
But they used to be the hands, you know. Now, man, can't even go by the hands. I cannot. It's
Yeah,
getting scary good.
it is
And
good.
so then I found so then I was like, okay, well that, like so my brother is a graphic artist and he runs his own graphic art business. And he does very well. He does a lot of things in the sports industries for the teams and things like that.
Hmm.
Makes logo designs and like purely, like a lot of like stuff that AI could totally do, and just put somebody out of work. So I got worried about that. I was like, man, and I asked him, I'm like, do you
Hmm.
think? And he doesn't think so either. And like he said, it's going to be, there will be people that use it and they're going to take it and they're going to use it and not pay people. But like he said, he thinks, it's going to be just looked down upon. So people aren't going to want to do it in the corporate world or like in the more professional world.
Hmm.
Like people aren't going to want to do it because then they'll be looked down upon, I guess.
Yeah.
But
How do you
that's
feel? How
now.
do you feel about it? Like, well, what do you think? Do you
It
think there's
scares the crap out of
there's
me.
a is there a future of it, or do you think it's gonna like fizzle out? Like, is this a fad? Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, it's not going anywhere, man. This thing is just going to get bigger, stronger, smarter. Like we're not stopping it. Like
Right.
no one's going to stop this because there's still going to be people out there that they're total enthusiasts. I mean, I follow a few Instagrams that are just purely AI art now, just because I'm so interested in it. I've never actually played with it. It's almost like a drug. I don't want to, I don't want to get into that and then be like,
I would argue I would
it,
argue we should like we should post it. Like we should just make our own three keyword search AI art things and then like post it after this conversation and just like check it out. Like might as well try it.
but but what I'm saying though, it's like a drug, bro. Like you're gonna do it, and then you're gonna be like, well, that was easy. And that made me feel good because you know, like I got this really cool image. You're gonna start liking the images, then you're gonna be like, oh, I can make this better. Oh, I can make that, and you're gonna keep going deeper. And I think that's what happens. I think
Mm,
people get into it, and then you're feeding the beast, basically. You're making this thing stronger, faster, smarter, and the
yeah.
more and more you use it, just the bigger and bigger it's going to get. It's just going to keep learning more. So, do I want to be a part of it? I don't know, because then I truly will be part of this problem. Um, and
I
I
see that.
also don't want to love it, like I don't want to fall in love with it. And then, like, because right now, a lot of times, if I need a graphic thing, I call my brother. I go,
Yep.
hey, man, like I can do graphic work, but I just don't enjoy it much. So I was like, hey, man, can you make me something? Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
be like, let me not bother him. I'll just, make one real quick, you know.
And life is tough enough now, like, but especially being a full-time, creative professional, like this stuff like is not helping anybody.
Right.
I don't know. What if I start putting in like, you know, death to AI, like as like my search parameters? Like if it's gonna be learning, it should start learning that like I don't like it.
Yeah, well, that's like I said, they did have like an uprising where people were like, whoa, dog.
Hey, buddy.
Um, yeah. So yeah, there were people that were like, no way, we're down with this, and they logged on and they started making all this AI that said like no AI, like death to AI.
Nice.
Yeah, and it took over for a little bit. Like if you went to this ArtStation page, it was covered.
So how many websites are there? I know we probably both don't know this, but is
Oh, there are so
ArtStation
many.
like the big one? Is that like the main hub?
Now there's Midjourney, and there was Dolly too. That was in this article that we still have to actually finish reading. And
We're getting there.
there's another one too that I can't think of, but there's a few really big ones, and then there's like also the app one that uh, people like virally went on to.
Right.
Then there was that one too. All right, so let me actually let's just finish this article quick here, where we left off. We were down here. So this guy, yeah, he gets kicked off Reddit for being, AI art that wasn't AI.
Hmm.
So let's just find out what happened to him. All right, so Moran got in touch to politely explain they had it wrong and offered to share the PlayStation or the
The
PlayStation
PlayStation file.
the Photoshop file to prove he'd created the art himself. But according to screen grabs he later shared on Twitter, he was met with defiance. I don't believe you, the response reads. Even if
Oh.
you did paint it yourself, it's so obviously an AI prompted design that it doesn't matter. You really are a serious artist. Then you need to find a different style.
Who is this
So
moderator?
this guy,
Please tell me they name them in this article somewhere because
well, I don't know if that was the moderator. That might have just been like comments from the public because it says that was something he shared on Twitter.
got
So I
it.
think people then were just, like, it was kind of, the what is it? Guilty until proven innocent,
Innocent, yep.
you know? So it's like someone said he did it. So now everybody just believes that. Now he's got to like kind of, show people that
That's
it's
wild.
not. Yeah, it's stupid. It's
Dogs are
really
acting
stupid.
up.
Yeah, it's just back and forth, back and forth.
They have some input
Doesn't know
though.
what they want to do.
Well, they want to be on the
Hey, well,
podcast. They want to be like, hey, Bark.
yeah, here at the Babcast, it's gonna be dogs, man, because nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna actually comment and complain about some dogs, bro,
I'll block you because like
you
that's a silly thing
you
to complain
you
about.
got some you got some issues.
Seek help
Uh
immediately.
he just wants to make the jump, but he just keeps stopping
Oh,
because
I'm
the other
excited
one
when he does.
won't
He's
let
gonna
him
nail
up.
it.
Well, he won't because the other one's blocking him. So
Dog
then he'll just
mentality.
come over here and look at me like this.
So
Like,
he's like,
help
Dad,
me.
like, listen, like you see what's going on.
Yeah. Like he's got a couch he can lay on. He's got, I mean, so much. Just old, stubborn. He's gonna try one more time.
I get it.
Nope. Nope. Parked it again. Now here it comes. Look at this.
Yeah,
Like
he's back.
clockwork. All right, people. So for context, Moran is the lead artist at Cart Studio, and the art in question was a near completed piece commissioned for a book cover by fantasy author Selkie Myth.
Oh,
Moran
so there's a
currently
paper trail
remains
now.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stupid. Moran currently remains suspended, though, from r/art, and artists have railed to his
Rallied.
rallied to his cause across social media and Reddit itself, such as this protest piece by user Grimly, who's also been banned as a result. So the community then had a meltdown, apparently,
I'm having
and
a
just went
meltdown
nuts
right
on
now.
this. Uh, so it's so it doesn't make like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, just I don't know. There's got to be a way just to like just make it known that it's AI, man. That's the thing that scares me
Oh,
because it's gonna blur the lines.
yeah, yeah. There needs to be some kind of disclaimer on it. I mean, this Reddit, I'm assuming, already has its own dedicated AI art spaces. Like, and I get somebody's probably going to try to push one through on another page once in a while, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's a
It,
scary thing also, man. If like what are we gonna have an AI that like catches the fact that these images are AI? That's just another thing that's gonna be scanning our crap.
yeah, and you can't trust it because it's just another AI. It's not going to like narc its buddies out, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
yeah.
No, no.
I think there's another issue with this article though that's like outside of the AI art. It's again the moderator is making a series of assumptions like who is this cat, right? Like how are you such an expert that you can eyeball AI? Like what are you? Like did you create the thing or something? Like
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
this
don't.
moderator is out of control.
I think he needs to be reinstated for sure.
Absolutely.
But it's messed up. Like I just don't. It's so stupid. It's
Or
so stupid.
somebody just start what is it? R/art number two, and then everybody just bounce from this one and go to that one.
Counterculture.
Yeah, I'd be like, you know what,
Yeah.
guy, like sorry, but we're not dealing
But
with
do you
this
think
today.
is this just like the start of something that's just going to be so common?
You know what? Unfortunately, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
well, I got scared when I saw this picture because for me, I was always like, wait, I'm not too worried about it because I take, landscapes and, I do real life photos. I'm not
mhm.
making graphic art and stuff. And then I start finding pictures like this. And this
Ooh,
one is knocking on my door.
that is right in
Because
your
this is
space. Yeah.
it's a beautiful photo. Totally fake. The
Yeah.
AI, I mean, I mean, there are billions, trillions of sunset, sunrise photos and landscapes on the internet. And anybody's phone or gives the permissions for this individual AI to go through all that information.
hmm
And it pumps out. I mean, I can tell you right now because I've shot thousands of skies, sunrises, sunsets. That thing is like perfect.
It's pretty
It's
good.
it's it makes sense. That looks exactly how the light would hit on everything completely. Even the fact that that cloud is blocking
What
the light coming through it
what is
from
the
the back end.
artifact to the right? So the pointy part of the cloud on the
This,
right hand side. Yep. Is that supposed to be birds or another cloud in the background?
I think
See,
that's just like a little. It's just like you get little tiny clouds like that, just like little broken pieces.
right.
It's very nice. If I saw this not on this website, I would have thought it was real.
Got it.
100%. Like, I mean, look at this thing. Now, it's not super high quality, so that's always it doesn't make I mean, but you can make it high quality.
Mhm.
You can keep telling this thing to upres, 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 and it
Yeah,
will
you could figure
continue to
that
do it.
out.
But just how everything is, man, it's so
Yeah,
very realistic.
like
I mean, you look here, the edges look a little rough and hard, but it doesn't look unnatural.
no, it just
Shadows
looks
look correct.
it looks like it was taken on a smaller sensor size and blown up too big. Like it's got that little look
Yeah,
to it,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like it's a little bit blown up past its, what it should be. It still looks
Yeah.
good though. Like the colors are great.
Yeah, now I wouldn't say it's the most beautiful picture. It's, the composition is
Composition
kind of
wise, it's a little weird,
crap,
but yeah, it's
but
an interesting scene though. Like I like it.
yeah, it does look like, and somebody could post that and be like, "Oh, was out at the Alps," who knows, you
Uh-huh.
know? So in the past, it used to be people stealing people's photos, and reposting them. But then, we started getting these AIs that would, tell you, "Hey, your image is being posted here or your music is being," so we started getting those AIs to start tagging and flagging individuals' arts that was being reposted. But now people are like, "All right, I'll just make my own." So now, like, that's what I think we're gonna have something that starts knowing, hey, this is an AI photo, which is just more AI. It's just AI on top of AI. Technology on technology, just
And like
just
my thing
going at
is,
each other.
again though, there's like no reason for this. Like there's not a good one. Like this didn't need to exist at all. You know?
It's just like idle hands are the devil's work. Or right? What is that? Idle hands
Uh
are the devil's playground.
Something like that, yeah. But like
Yep.
if we have all this advanced technology, like shouldn't we be using it for something, more beneficial to people? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a
I
whole different podcast.
that is a whole different podcast, yeah.
Mm.
I'm like, we can do
Yeah.
this,
That's
but
then yeah. So we were like, hey, no, we're just gonna make up fake pictures. Why not? Like instead of like going out and actually trying to capture this image, let's just type it in. It makes me feel good.
I feel like this is probably just an assumption, but did you ever play Second Life? Like this
Yes.
simulating games? I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
this is
Didn't we
probably,
used to both play that, didn't we?
did
I
we?
think we used to yeah.
My
Yeah, I think
uncle
we used
Mike
to
played
have
it, and he still does to this day. So I remember having an account when
really
I was logging in with
I
him.
remember him.
Yes, so we probably piggybacked off that. But like that's a different world too. So he'll actually create like digital clothing and stuff for like your avatar in the game, and he makes real money. Like you can actually like cash out the Second Life money into real cash,
Yeah.
and it's
So
like,
now you can just make AI clothing
so you don't
and
even
sell
have
it.
to do it.
So it's even coming for him, like
It's
so
coming
it
for
does affect.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Advertising
And
agencies too.
then
You get some really good people in there. Like I'm not saying all advertising agencies are like worth the money you spend on them, but like there are some good ones. And there's people that have made really good careers off that. And now like you don't even
right.
need it.
Yeah. Downsize, downsize, downsize. AI heart is hit us, boys. We gotta downsize.
Hmm.
Like it won't take everybody's, but it might make a dent, And now, and so now there's video also happening where people are face tracking and getting other people's faces put on it. So what's
Those
next?
deep
Just
fake
type in
videos.
drone time lapse, oh, beautiful. Is it gonna start making like landscape videos soon? So
Hmm.
it'll be on your iPhone. Go ahead, make a video.
I
So
bet.
it's scary just in the future of just where social media will be, especially people like me and trying to make make a side hustle on all that stuff.
Well,
It's even going to affect all that.
it's gonna affect me a lot too because like, um, let me share really quick if I can. This is one of my more abstract photos here. So look at that. Like that
Ah,
actually looks like an AI could have spit that out, but that is a candle and camera movement and long exposure. Like
yeah, a long exposure.
that's manual, like creating the shapes and everything like that. That was just a candle, a stationary
Yeah, what do
lit
they
candle.
call that? Light painting, right?
Yep. So like look at that though. Like that could easily be an AI piece now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you like, yeah, that's Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like
So is that just one that's just one candle or is
that's
that
just
like a few?
that's just one candle. So I just focused on the flame in a dark room. So the only light that I had was the candle. And I just held
Okay.
my shutter open, and then I started making these little like square patterns, like very minor, moving them around,
Right.
little rectangles, until I was satisfied with it, and I let go, and that's what I got out of it.
Nice.
So it looks
No,
like
I
these
like
like
that. Because
little people like they kind of
it
stacked
looked
and
like there
stuff
was like
like.
different yeah, it looked like there was like different very light spots but I guess then you just stopped and then moved again.
Yep,
And
I
then
yeah, I just rotate. I
so
just
every once in a while you would
I made these
pause
little movements like very slowly like that.
going into like a spiral
Yeah,
and then it kind of
and kind of threw a
that's
circle in
that's
there.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of my work, like those long exposures, are just these like really slight movements. Sometimes I'll just like focus on the subject and I'll just walk very slowly backward. And then it gets this like kind of cool effect where everything's kind of moving inward.
Yeah, like the Star Wars effect. I
Yep.
call that. Yeah, like light speed.
Yeah, but that's all
You should
manual work. Like,
you should get into actual like light painting with like you get like a LED light in your hand.
mhm.
You do like a long exposure since you also paint and then you like draw a picture or you make like a scenery or something like that. That would be cool. Of your like
I've seen some really impressive ones, like where the
that'll be like
details
right up your alley.
insane. I'm like, that means that there's so much muscle memory that has to go into that, and you have to like really just
Yeah.
visualize what it's going to look like because you can't see it. So it's like,
Yeah, you almost have to like visualize it in your view while you're doing it and remember. I'm sure that just comes easier for some people, but I've never tried it.
I'm gonna give it a
I've seen
shot.
people do it, but yeah, I think yeah, because you've always liked playing around with like light trails and like light painting, and when I saw that I was like, oh man, I was like, that's totally like Chris's jam. So
Yeah, yeah, and but
it's just
like,
like you. No, go ahead.
oh yeah, no, I'm just saying like that's a computer could have made that now. That freaks me out a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, everything now can be done with a damn computer, and it's sad. It's really sad. But you know what's funny is I don't like shooting on film, you know. That's not my favorite thing to do. I love digital because I mean, I take so many photos that I would not be able to move if I was doing film. Like it would take me, that or I'd be broke, like having someone else develop it. So,
I
and you can't.
I love film. If I could, I still would. But like the equipment, like the dark room, the time. Like if I had my own gallery, which is someday, hopefully going to happen, then I would absolutely just do shows with my own work and stuff like that. But like there's so many logistical issues with that, like
Yeah,
transport,
it
like
is. It's a ton.
it's a lot. And then reproducing a print too, if you're selling like say like a series of 25, like you've got to do that perfectly 25 times. So there's consistency with it, which is incredibly difficult. Um,
Yeah, because people in film when digital started taking over, it was easy for them to transfer over into digital. So it's not like a bunch of these photographers lost work. It's just they had to now just start shooting more on digital. And I guarantee you a good portion of them, if not the majority, were like, "Oh wow, this is way easier. I like that. I like this." You know.
it's a
And
lot
and
easier.
there's yeah, there's a big comeback right now on film too. Like I see a lot of people, doing a lot of stuff, a lot of reels, shooting on film. Um, but just think about that. You gotta, especially if you're trying to be like monetized or like do anything like that. I mean, that's a lot of work
hmm
just for one video.
Yeah,
It's
you need to be like a gallery centric photographer for that to really work out. And like that's all you're
yeah,
doing is like art shows regularly because I can't even imagine having to sell prints in bulk, doing them all manually like that.
yeah. When you had your art shows, it was like you had one of each.
One of
It's
each.
like yeah.
I miss my
If
art
you get it, you
shows.
get it.
Like I really
Yeah, we did that live stream that one time, that was fun,
that was fun. Yeah. And
and
then
then
Lorenzo was
Lorenzo
playing.
played.
Yep. Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
do
that was
those
a lot of
again.
fun.
The pandemic though, like killed that momentum. I was doing like frequent shows and then everything just shut down. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I guess I gotta like start leaning into the digital side of things a little bit more.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
That was the time where everything really, set in, I mean, streaming took off, podcasting took off even harder, like, so many like, people were just sitting around consuming.
Yeah. It's almost
And
like
then
there
the
wasn't
market got
enough
really
content.
flooded. Yeah, God, it's like, what, billions of minutes get uploaded on YouTube, every day. It's crazy how much, all that and that was the thing, it's like, if you think about all the unused storage space, I forget who I was listening to, but they were talking about, people that are like, "Oh, I wanna save money, I wanna help save the planet and conserve energy."
Mhm.
This guy was like, "Well, let me ask you, how many unread emails do you have in your email account or accounts?" And they'd be like, "Oh, like thousands and millions." And it's like all that is sitting somewhere on a hard or on storage somewhere that needs energy to run. So
Wow.
delete your damn emails. And I was like, "Oh man, you're right."
You're right. I never
Yeah.
thought about it
So
like that. Like,
all this digital junk that we just keep for no reason does take a toll on energy and on consumption of things because it's all needs to be stored somewhere. And that all takes energy to store. It's not like because it has to be accessible at all times.
yeah,
It's not like it's like a hard drive and they throw it in a box. It's like,
it's
you
connected.
need to be able to access that email whenever you want to go back 10 years ago and see what Ricky had to say about the party last night. Like that's all.
That's one of those
That
like
it needs
anxiety
to be
things
there.
where you wake up after a bad dream about something from like years ago and you're like, oh wait, there's actually an email about that. I'm gonna check it right now.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, the time that I went into my emails quite recently, and I found emails that I sent out that I was like, "Oh, why did I do that?" Again, that's all sitting there somewhere, taking up space, taking up energy, because of my dumbass that just wants to be able to possibly access it whenever, but
Maybe
mostly
one day.
because I'm lazy. Yeah, I'm just lazy. I just and even so I had like 5, 6,000 unread messages in my Apple Mail account.
Oh my
I was so
gosh.
sick of seeing the red button that I highlighted them all. And did I delete them? No, I just marked them all as marked as all red.
You should have
So
just deleted them all.
I probably should have because I never went through them and read them. I guarantee you.
Or you read
It's
them
just
because
so
like
much.
maybe somebody wanted to commission you to like fly out somewhere cool and do a skyscape and like
Yeah,
you're just like, ah, I'm just not gonna
probably.
read that. That's cool. I don't need to go to Fiji. Like that's fine.
It's all those damn corporations too, man. They're the ones sending out this junk.
Oh, chunk. Some of them too are like impossible to unsubscribe from. Like you try and then like the website breaks or something like that, or like it makes
Yeah,
you put a
yeah. It's like
reason. Like
this feature does not exist. And you're like, wait, what?
or they switch like the confirm. They make you confirm twice, but they switch where it is, like to the right or left, and then
Yeah,
you like are just like, oh crap, I'm still here.
that happened. Yeah, that happened to me personally one time. Or the one where I forget what company it was. I kept hitting, unsubscribe in the email and it said, congratulations, you've unsubscribed, or like, sad to see you go. And then tomorrow I got another email and I
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, unsubscribe. Congratulations, you've unsubscribed. Next day, got another email. I'm like, this doesn't work, bro. Like, something's broken.
It's like you guys aren't even trying.
Uh,
Like it's an
no,
unmonitored box.
no. They're like, we got a VPN. We're gonna change our IP address. Different email. Should have probably looked. It probably is all different emails.
Oh, you probably have like 5 different emails in there. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's AIR, and I think we've touched enough on how we feel about it.
Hmm.
I don't think we're gonna change our opinions anytime soon. I'm deathly afraid of it. I hope some way it gets a tag on it somehow, or it just makes it easier for people to know if it's AI art or not. But that's the only thing I can say about that.
Yeah.
I think it is coming for everybody, and I'm terrified of it. But it is also really cool. I do see things that are beneficial about it. I've seen people use it in beneficial ways. Some people even said they use it just to get the idea from, like they said, like the people that were commenting saying, "Well, you still got the idea from AI." It's like I do see that also, and
Hmm.
that I don't feel so bad about if you're just using it as like like a composition starter or something to be like, oh, okay, it will look good.
Like conceptual research, I guess, right?
Right,
Like what
right,
could this look like? But then you always do run the risk of like that influencing you more than you realize consciously. So
yeah,
yeah, it could still be a
yeah,
problem. And anything honestly that's going to take, you know, financial success away from artists because it's already just so hard to achieve. Like I just think it needs to be scrapped right away. Like I don't want to sound
right,
like the capitalist in the group because I'm not, but yeah.
yeah.
But like,
I mean,
bills don't pay
I
themselves,
say
right? Like
money talks. Money
yeah.
always talks. And I personally, I'm always fair with and I'm sure some listeners that I've done some work for know that, but I'm pretty fair.
Hmm.
But the thing is I if there is one thing that I'm not great at, it's a lot. No. It's, no, it's business. Like, I'm not I can run someone else's business very
Hmm.
well. Run my own business, I'm not the best. It's like, especially when it comes to art, like we were saying, with the whole, like, I hate mixing the 2, but it's a necessity and you have to.
Yeah.
I'm just not very good at it. I love when people say, "Hey, man, I love what you do that."
Hmm.
That's always great. I bet when people, are, "Hey, can you," because I've worked with some people, that have been like that, where they can't, "No, I want it like this," or, "No, I need it like this color," and it's like, "Okay," or you might be like, "Hey, that's not really gonna work out. Let me tell you why," and they're still like, "Nah, nah, it looks fine. Just do it that way," and you're like, "Oh, okay."
And you'll run into that periodically, but I would say like that's not the norm. And
Yeah, no,
and I feel the same way
it
about
definitely
like
is.
pricing too. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, like how do I price this, right? Like, but I have to take into account like the hours I spent thinking about it, right? The hours I spent executing it. And then my expertise, because like again,
Right.
like consulting somebody, right? Like they don't know. And like that's a skill set too, like that you have that is definitely marketable and that you should be compensated relatively fairly for. Like I think
Right.
that's not outrageous. And I honestly too, like I have a mental block where I'm like, oh man, people are gonna see this price, like you're insane. But like most of the time, once in a while that happens, but like most of the time that's not the case. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. Like I have a
Yeah.
buddy that like spends months on these paintings. So he might like pump out like four a year, but he sells them for like thousands of dollars. And like I get it. Like
Right.
if you're a serious art collector and like you see like the detail and the work that went into this and it strikes you like at an emotional level, like it's a sell. Like it will sell.
It's true. Yeah. 100%. I it's sad when you see artists not getting what they're worth.
Hmm.
It's sad. It's sad when you see anything. Like it's sad, just sad to see an artist. Well, here's the thing. It's sad to see an artist go what they go through, but that's what makes the artist. And that's oh my god, I don't know how the best way to say it is, but that's like the most bittersweet thing about being an artistic person is that to be an artistic person, you have to go through stuff. You
Yeah.
need to go through things. You won't become a better artist until you go through those dark places. You go through those painful times. You go through the whole rigmarole, like you go
Huh?
through everything and it chews you up and it spits you back out and you say, "Hey, this is what I got." And usually it always gets better. I mean, I don't know many artists that do worse things than they did when they were young, like when they were younger. And if that's true, then I don't know, maybe like I said, I can't even think of it because I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, there's a lot of
Comment if
people.
you have.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like art has like changed their lives for the better, right? Like brought them out of a bad
Yeah,
place. But to your point though, like art didn't find them. They were always an artist probably and just didn't know what the medium was yet. So
right.
you're absolutely right. Like
Or
that's the
they
downside to
didn't
it.
go they didn't go through enough yet, a lot
Hmm.
of times.
And
I know
just
after my mother passed away, I became a lot better just because I I started to respect the moment more. Where before you know, I I didn't respect it enough, and I was like, "Well, you need to start capturing these moments because 'cause they're gone?" So it's like that's why I say I have a passion for the fleeting moment because that's all you got, man, and if you can't capture it now like, it just happened to me, yes, 2 days ago, there was this so I had one battery that was, like, kinda shot, but I still had 2 full ones, so I knew I wouldn't have enough to get, like, the whole time that I wanted to get, and I
mhm,
was looking out the window, and I was like, "Man, this is awesome, though." But I was like, "But I won't have enough battery for later if I" was like, "What do I do?" And then I just kept telling myself, like, shoot what you see now because it might not be there later." And that's exactly what happened. I
yeah.
shot that one, I got another one in, and the spot that I woulda had battery power for, if I didn't, was crap. The sun just disappeared. It was gray. There was nothing. And I was like, that's why you do that. Because if I would have waited, I wouldn't have got what I saw because I was waiting for what was coming. And that never came. So,
It's
you
so
know,
what is it like you're waiting for the perfect conditions before your ship set sail, right? There's never
yeah.
any perfect
Yeah.
condition. Like it's just an unrealistic thing. I'm actually a terrible photographer in the sense that like if I'm not in the mood to shoot, I can't even tell you how many beautiful scenes that I just won't shoot because I want to watch them with my eyes. Right? Like I want to take that in. That's for me. Like
Yeah.
and I go through a lot of life like that. And people are like, "Oh, why didn't you snap that picture of this really cool thing happening?" I'm like, "Because I was watching it. I was being a part of it. I was actively participating in it, and like that's important. At least you know what I
Yeah.
mean."
It is. I do that with people. I never take enough pictures of people and moments in my life. I only take pictures. One of my exes even said that. They were like, "You never take photos of us." but you take photos of the sky, this bridge, like all this
Hmm.
other stuff, but you never take photos of us. And I was like, and I think it was the same thing. It was like, that's because I'm so involved in the moment, and I was like, and then that made me think, I'm like, well, am I not involved in the moment when I'm doing the other stuff? And so it messed with me a little bit because I don't know if I ever found the answer to that question, but
There might not
I
be
mean, I
one.
know
Yeah,
I know I love experiencing like the sunrise and the sunsets, the two things I live for. It's not, I know they're like a lot of people call sunrise and sunsets easy photography, and really it is. I mean, I won't
it
deny it. It's like the
it's
the
not.
world gives you a beautiful scene and says, "Hey, capture this." Like, but as
But
I
how many
started
people
doing
are
the
waking
time
up at
lapses.
5 a.m. to do it, right? Like that's where it's not
Exactly.
easy. So
Exactly. That's the thing, is I'm out there at 4:30 in the morning on a summer morning, you know, up on a hill just waiting, just to throw my drone up. And it's so yeah, I do love the moments, because, and plus it's very good for you. I mean, they say, the sunrise gives you IR infrared light that like helps your skin stay
mhm.
aged well. And it's some of the most powerful light that can come from the sun. So it's great if you can just go out and bask in it.
And you
But
get a little hike in the morning too, like some fresh
yeah,
air. Like everything about that is beneficial. It's a really good routine.
yeah, the
Hard
winter's
hard to
important.
do in the winter. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
well, I just, if I do it at my house, I just go and sit in my car with it running, with the heat on.
well, you fly
And
the drone from the front seat. You're like,
yeah, well, because I can still look and see it then, like, instead of like being in my house and not being able to see it. It's not really legal. Uh, but if I go out anywhere, I'm usually just sitting in my car in the winter. Like, I'll get out, just to get some fresh air, but because I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for 16 minutes,
yeah. Mhm.
for the drone to do its thing. So, I set up the shot and everything, and I get the flight path down, and I do all that. But then it's just you hit go, and then you're just waiting. So it's great. Also, that's why I love time lapses too, is because, like you said, you'd rather live in the moment. So it's great. I live in the moment before the moment happens. I hit the button and then I go live in the moment while the camera just does what it does. It's just like, it's like my buddy, it's like
That's
my
awesome.
partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I still get to experience everything and take the moment in and just, let the camera sit over there and, you know, do its shot that I set up.
Yeah.
Or same thing with the drone. It just flies itself during the flight path that I put it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely feeling you though on the not documenting your own life enough because I'm the same way. Like my idea
Hmm.
is like if I don't remember it, you know what I mean? Like I don't need to memory
Yeah.
lane it. Like I got to keep moving forward and like what sticks with me and what doesn't, right? That's life.
Yeah. Sometimes I did wish I did, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Just gotta stay happy in the moment you're at, and as long as you're doing that, you're winning, I guess.
Is there really a win? Sometimes I wonder that myself. Like what is winning? But I get it.
I don't got an answer for that one.
I
None.
don't think anybody does.
So yeah, so life is pretty hard for artists. I think we can all admit. And I think we explained that pretty well.
I think that's been a running
But
theme.
yeah, but another running theme that I came across was this the YouTube's new rules. Now, I'm not monetized yet. I am aspiring to be monetized. So if you're out there, please subscribe. Subscribe to Chris's channel too
Smash
on
that button.
YouTube. Smash it, like it, subscribe, flag it, do the bell, because you want to know when we put these things up. I'm probably going to start doing some other content too, but anyway, so we go buy AI art. We're done with you. So the next thing is have you seen YouTube's new rules for
I have
monetization?
I received an
So
email that I did not read. So I think this is going to be
ah,
very very informative for me and everybody out there as well.
well, so they started coming after your videos, even retroactively. If you cursed a lot, or if you played very grotesque video games. I mean, violent video games, even like Call of Duty, I think
What
was even
video
like
games are not like grotesquely violent, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So they're well, they might not demonetize you. They'll make you 18 and up. Some they'll
Okay.
demonetize. Some they'll age restrict you, which then people that aren't signed in can't watch your video. And then anybody 18, you're and they basically just flatline your video. They don't promote it anymore. Like YouTube doesn't push it anymore. You're basically out of the algorithm. Good luck.
Wow.
You basically are left on your subscribers. So if you don't have a lot of subscribers and you make a banger video that might have given you, a good sub base, you're not going to get it
So you got to go
now.
strictly like word of mouth again, like old school.
Yeah, yeah. So, now you got to be very careful with what you say. So that's why before we did this podcast, I was like, well, sometimes we have a trashy mouth, but we got to stop it. We're going to have to
Yeah.
cut it down because I don't, like I said, I'm not monetized now, but if I ever am, they'll come back on you from your old videos. So that was bad,
And everybody, that was
but it
me.
got,
I apologize.
well, luckily
I
this
came right
isn't
out of the gate
live
with some
and
words. Yeah, I was like, hey.
nah, that's why we got the bleep button.
I
Like
was
a
gonna ask you about that. Like,
retroactive bleep.
can you bleep me and also do like the censor bar around my mouth so you can actually still see what it was
Yeah,
that I said?
with the little symbols,
Yeah.
like the at and yeah, like all the crazy. Man, I always it's like what person thought, "Hey, we need to put something in for closed captioning of like cursing." Oh, well, just hit shift and hit all the numbers. It's like money sign. That's all like
Yeah.
what person said that's gonna be what cursing is, and when they put it in the black bar,
Oh,
it's just all the symbols.
I'll tell you, it was an unpaid intern that was working like 70 hours a week and was just really over it. They're like, you know what, dude, watch this.
Yeah, bam,
Boom.
bam, bam, bam.
There
There
you
you go,
go.
send it.
And they're like, sure.
So yeah, so they're gonna come back and they're gonna restrict your videos, but now, oh jeez,
You let the dogs in. Dan,
who let the
Dan,
dogs
Dan,
out?
Dan.
So they're gonna also come back for their money, bro. So
See,
I've actually,
that's insane and probably not legal.
yeah, it doesn't, yeah. So we're gonna watch this video, but I've used to watch this guy. He runs a computer store in New York,
Okay.
and I think he might have moved out, but it was in the city, and then the city started like it was during COVID. He kind of got viral. He does a lot of things like anti-Apple because of their restrictions, and he was like the leader of like the right to repair movement to like be able to
Yes.
still work on your computers and stuff.
That
So
actually
he goes
transcended
into,
into like farm equipment and stuff. Like I think the
oh yeah,
farmers
yeah, yeah.
just won
Oh,
against
so
John
much
Deere
stuff.
about that. Yeah, they're like, nah, dude, we're gonna fix these ourselves, man.
Yeah.
It's a
So
racket.
he's a very smart guy, and he's also a YouTuber. And when he was going through the terms and services of the new thing, he found some things, and we're gonna share this page here. We're gonna watch a little bit of it. I do have the audio. It should come out good. Let's see if this comes through.
All right.
And it really doesn't take much.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna listen a little bit to him. He's gonna actually be going through. So if you want to see the video, you can check us out on YouTube and you can watch the video. We're gonna stream that. If not, the audio will still come through for you guys.
Much time to get to the part that, in my opinion, is a massive screw job. So if you just search through this agreement, you will see this one section called non-qualifying revenues. It says over here, and I'll zoom in to make it easier to view on the screen, YouTube may either 1. Withhold or adjust any partner earnings associated with a breach of the terms, including the YouTube channel monetization policies, or 2. Charge back or offset such amounts against future partner earnings payable to you. YouTube will notify you if any of these circumstances occur and provide details on about how you can appeal in accordance with these policies. Now, the main problem that virtually everybody has spoken about on YouTube at some point in time, whether it is a creator with 1,000 subscribers or a creator as large as PewDiePie, is that it is virtually impossible to actually get through to somebody at YouTube and speak to them if something like some sort of error occurs and you violate one of their policies. One of the best examples that I have on my channel of this happening to me is this video I did of an angry Clinton. So my cat's name is Mr. Clinton, and he was meowing for about 1 or 2 minutes very angrily. So I decided to record it because when Clinton meows, it's kind of funny. And he got flagged. It says, "We are removing this video because it violates our community guidelines. You'll be able to view the video for 7 days. When it was removed, this period allows you to review the content to decide whether you wish to submit an appeal." I had problems having the video reinstated until I did the video on the content strike that I got for, I'm not kidding, harmful and dangerous content. This video is literally a cat. It was an adorable little cat. And the cat is just sitting there on the counter and he's meowing. Look at him. He's just sitting there and he's going row, row, row. Now, it's one thing if YouTube makes a mistake and one of your videos disappears. At some point, any content creator with thousands of videos is going to say mea culpa, whatever it is the ability for YouTube or Alphabet to literally reach into your bank account and take back money that they gave you based on a robot striking your cat for hate speech because he was meowing. And that is what you have the potential for here. If I am reading this contract right, and if I'm reading this contract wrong and you're an attorney, please do let me know. This is a serious.
And from what I know, we haven't heard anything back yet about from any lawyers or anything saying if that's, if he's off base on this, but pretty sure he's on base. And
what it's really showing though is like nobody is actually actively reviewing the flagged videos. They're letting AI run the show and really seriously bleeping, with people's potential income and views. Like that's unacceptable.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. It's
like listen, if you have AI
to be able to
do
go
it right,
in,
like flag it, that's fine, but it should be reviewed by like somebody, right? Like a living human being, like should at least watch it and then like, move it on to the next thing. Like
right. But then to then be able to go in and retroactively take back the money that it made on the monetization that they already paid you. So now you're going to be, say you made $300 on this video from monetization, and then they're going to be like, we're going to do a chargeback on $300. Oh, well, I don't have $300 in the account. Ha ha ha. They'll be like, okay, well, we're just not going to pay you until we get our $300 back. So as your ad revenue's coming in, we're going to keep deducting until we get to the $300 mark, and then we're going to start paying you again. So they're going to get that money somehow anyway. But that's that's got to be illegal, like he said. This is crazy.
It's probably knowing the country that we live in is probably legal. They're just banking on people just letting it go. It's like what the hell is it? It's Comcast, right? I think maybe not. Sorry, Comcast.
Timcast.
It's something where they have a really, really bad customer service line that's all automated, and it's like designed to bring you in circles.
Oh, Comcast.
So essentially you just get fed up, right? And you give up on your complaint. So then they can report that like, oh, we have 100% customer service satisfaction because our system is so asinine that like most people, 99% of them just give up after an hour or two and just deal with it.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of sounds like to me. Like they're just like hoping that,
but and it's like, do you think they're gonna? Do you think you're gonna be able to fight that, or like I don't?
If they're gonna do it, there's got to be a way to fight it. Like there has to.
Well, yeah, they always have. Yeah, they always have like So when I upload stuff, I always have to send like my license to use the music I use because I have a service that gives me out the licenses, and they always flag it as copy. Like I can use it, but I wouldn't make money on it until I send them the fact that I actually have a license to use the music. So
is that what that means?
Yeah, and then so you can use music that you didn't make, but you can't make money off of it. The person that copyright claims it will get the money from your monetization.
Like all of the money, or like a portion of the money, like respectable to
like anything that video makes.
Oh,
yeah.
So I didn't know that, and I'm obviously new to YouTube, so I have to reshoot quite a few videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Thanks, Dan.
What is that? Hold on. What the hell was that sound, bro?
I heard that. What was that?
Oh no, bro.
Sounded like a metal trash can lid,
Yeah,
like
I think it was the
slamming down.
metal. It might have been the wind blowing the metal things around outside. Oh,
Bless you.
all right. Sorry, I'll have to cut that out now.
You're fine.
Yeah. So no, yeah, they go back, they search your stuff, and they take your money now. And that's the new future of YouTube. And I'm not down with that, but you know, I don't
No.
think I don't think I'll be hopefully doing too many things that YouTube will be coming after me for. I could see maybe if we, curse, then maybe. But it used to always be within the first 8 to 10 seconds. As long as you didn't curse, you were good.
No, well,
But
good. Then
now,
fuck you, YouTube.
but now it goes
You got
back
you got to
through
bleep
the
that one.
whole video. So yeah, that is the lovely
So,
world we're living in with AI, AI in all aspects. Because really, if we think about it, most things we've touched on today has been AI related. AI flagging, AI creating pictures. I mean, this video is going to be either pushed or suppressed by AI. I mean, we're living in an AI world.
yeah, which is why we're gonna end the video with "I love AI," right? Like we'll just say it. Like it'll be like one of those like
Hashtag
sub
I love
exit.
AI. That's number. We're gonna start. No, it's probably already started, but no. Hashtag I love AI. That's what's gonna push this podcast through and through. We'll put it on every single episode. Hashtag I love AI, because if you love your masters, hopefully you'll get treated pretty good. So
Well, there's something funny like about like the overall theme of this. Like we've got AI, we have big tech, right? All
mhm.
of these things were technically designed originally to make life easier. Like the internet when it first came out, when YouTube came out, it was like you and I, like normal people or like creative people or whatever. Like I use YouTube mostly to learn how to like fix stuff around the house, right? I'm like, ah man,
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
watch that. Like I got an old house now, so I'm like, this old house is my favorite channel. But and it was created by people too that like believed in it from what I can see. And now it's just become this like, hey, I'm just gonna make up some rules to like, fleece more money out of people like that are using it,
Yeah.
to,
And it
to make a
totally
life for themselves.
infiltrated the creative zone. Like I mean, it's infiltrated every zone, but that's why I don't believe we'll ever stop it, because it's like it's just the Overton window, man. It's just getting a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and now it's here, and Terminator. Like, I'm like
Yeah, and
that's
it's done like in a way where it's like little by little, and then there's time in between, so you forget about it, right? And
yeah.
then they just
And then it
pull
comes
more and
through your
more.
money from 6 months ago on a video. It's like, damn.
Uh-huh. And then too, like they're also planning probably on you not having like great records, right?
Yeah.
They're only going to come for videos like 2 years or older because they know you're gonna like good luck figuring that out. They've got their
Yeah.
legal corporate team and all that fun stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And
not
like
cool.
all these companies are downsizing too. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, the US dollar isn't doing so great. So um, so there's gonna be that's less people to rely on and more AI to rely on, which
It's
is
also a
scary.
long term. Yeah, it's a long term game too because like birth rates
Yeah.
are declining. Like people aren't having
Yeah.
kids because rent. I live in Easton, Pennsylvania, and rent's like cheapest, I think, in like the bad area of town is like $1,500.
Wow. Yeah, things have
Yeah,
changed.
things have changed very, very quickly. Like
It
nothing's
used to be
getting less
cheap down
expensive.
there.
Dude, I had an apartment for like $400 and it was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be. I mean, it looks beautiful down there. They really nicened it up, but it's yeah, the price went with the soap, I guess. I don't
No,
best
the
way to
price went
say.
3 times higher than like what it actually is. Yeah,
Yeah.
and not saying they're
Hey,
not
man.
doing good work like cleaning it up and stuff, but
Nothing's better than that college though, man. We used to do all those college walks and just take photos and then find random parties and do, you know, scavenger
random
hunts and all the things that we
party
did at
things.
that
Yeah.
college. But those were, I mean, those were
Ah,
inspiring. It's like an old, old like colonial style, colonial time even,
mm,
college, and it's been there forever, and it's beautiful. It's like
it
the
is.
grounds are gorgeous, and you just overlook the whole entire town. So it's
It's on
awesome.
the top of it's on the top of a mountain. Like it's
Wow. I should come there
it's
and fly a
it's
drone,
super
like
cool.
where we used to stand with like the walkway at the top of the steps, and then it
Yeah,
comes
with the big
down.
statue of the dude who's doing
Yeah,
whatever he's
fly a
doing. Yeah.
drone. Yeah, fly a drone through there, man. Go up through.
Well, if you could fly that like down and then like right up that main strip all the way to the peace
Yeah.
candle, like that would be super
Oh,
cool. Yeah,
oh
dude.
man. I gotta make a trip. It's not even that far. That's the funny thing. It's
Yeah.
really not. Yeah. Make a vlog video of that one. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I think we should do more like shorts and stuff too. Like I think this is a pretty solid podcast, and we definitely need some supplementary material.
yeah.
I think
Well,
the
yeah.
viewers would like
That's
that.
yeah.
Some on
People love
location live stuff.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, I know. I worked that into my subscription with Instagram. Right now, it's just been basically me sitting on this chair talking to the mic. That's been the vlog style videos, but it's just been so cold, and getting out there and doing things. And, it gets dark by the time I'm home, so that doesn't help
I,
either. I really can't wait for the days to get longer again, because I start to get, everybody. I think everybody does. Everybody starts to get claustrophobic, and like we haven't had that bad of a winter though this year, so we've only had one really big snowstorm, and that was it. You know, I've gotten
yeah, but
like
like that sounds
no
good
snow.
though. And I think that's what's bothering me about this winter is it's just cold, but I don't even get the satisfaction of walking out at 2 a.m. like in
Yeah,
3 feet
it
of
hasn't
snow,
even been that
right?
cold the
Like
past few weeks. It was like the 60s the one day, 70 almost. It
I
was
think it was almost
ridiculous.
70 the other day.
Yeah, it's been nuts, man. And like I had some people that I had work to do for, like, with the snow when it came, and just never came. So I was like, sorry, what can I don't know what to do. It sucks. You know, I don't know. But I mean, hopefully, it's gonna, I would like to have maybe one big snowstorm before it's all over. But
I just
mm,
want one. Like, yeah.
yeah, but still, I won't complain, I guess, if it stays, nice. It hasn't been that windy, which has been great for flying drones, so that's the best part. I've actually been, although we've been getting a lot of gray days some lately, but it hasn't been too windy, which is what really messes up time lapses bad for me, or makes them extremely harder to create because I have to do a lot of stabilization. So
I would imagine something like a little bit harder than a slight breeze would probably throw that off a little
well,
bit,
then,
right?
I mean that.
Ooh,
Damn dogs.
is
That
everybody okay?
thing. Yeah, no, I slammed the floor to hopefully get them to stop barking.
Yeah.
Um, that thing actually holds up pretty well. Like DJI makes like really good drones, and I mean that thing. I've had that thing where it's like screaming at me, where it's saying, strong wind warning. Won't be able to land itself if you get in trouble. Like the sensors won't be able to handle it, or so. I don't know what it is, but it
But you
just
can
does.
get it like 5 feet off the ground and just grab it, right? Like, is
Yo, yeah,
that
yeah,
how
yeah.
that
But
works?
like
Okay, yeah.
if I'm like, it'll say that when I'm 350 feet in the air, it'll be like strong wind warning, So like, if for some reason something happened, the safety feature of it be able to land itself where it took off will be,
Mhm.
and then it's just gonna, you know, do whatever it wants to do, I guess. Uh, but it can handle it. It's just when it comes to editing, like depending. Now in my all my time flying, I have learned of ways to ride with the wind, and like ways to go through the wind that make it less, because I've shot so many time lapses through like the sky that I can set up a flight path that will complement what I'm trying to do, and it won't make the drone go so crazy. But there's certain
So,
maneuvers that or certain directions or maneuvers that if I try to do in the wind, it's gonna be a mess. Yeah.
so like you start like maybe further upwind than you want to originally start and just kind
Yeah,
of
it's
let that
generally if
take
I
you
ride
through.
if I ride with the wind, depending on the type of wind, if it's a constant breeze and then a crosswind, then I usually will go the direction of the crosswind because then it kind of doesn't. I just find it handles that better.
Right.
But if it's like a strong constant wind, most times I'll go into it, and it seems to handle itself better. And then, I mean, it's all trial and error, but that's what I've found with my drone. So I try to, and then it's all about locking the gimbal on and making sure because as long as that's locked, then you're dealing with like the shaking of like the background and stuff, but at least your subject will be more stable.
Right.
A lot of people don't even use it, and a lot of people don't even know you can. So here's a hint: lock your gimbal when you're
Quick tip.
when you're making hyperlapses, time lapses, because it once I started doing that's what really kicked it off for me, and then I just started putting that thing through the paces. I was like, what can this thing do? Let me try. And I started I got a lot of failures. I definitely have a good folder of failures, that's for sure. Oh yeah.
It happens.
I don't
It
know how we got
happens,
on
man.
that. Another Babcast. And we were going to call that thing the cock block. So next episode,
We were.
we are going to have our actual segment called the cock block. And that is purely from my name. It has nothing to do with anything else. Everything in
Nope.
this podcast has been a play on my last name because it's so pathetic, I guess. I don't really know.
None of
But
this is related to a rooster.
yeah, or any sexual innuendos.
See, I was going with rooster, man.
Nah, cock-a-doodle do. So I think we did good. I think we have gotten through all the things we wanted to touch on. We are now at the before editing the 2-hour mark, so I'd say we got a good conversation in. I'm happy with the first
I,
episode.
I think an hour 20 probably, right?
Yeah. Who knows, man? Might be more than that. We'll see. But we'll
Well, I
make
had
out some.
fun.
Yeah, and we'll make sound like we just went on a date, man. Like,
I mean,
I had fun.
I'd like to do this again. Like, you want to share contact information?
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
No, it was I really the real judge is the people. Do the people enjoy it? So that's what we need to know. So it's all on you guys to let us know how we did. If you enjoy the structure of it, topics, and again, we're going to be going forward. We're going to be asking you guys a lot more for topics. That way, hopefully you'll get your questions answered. We'll start having ways where you can send stuff in. We'll even have ways to donate. We'll to support us. So we'll have tons of stuff. It's just this is the first one. We wanted to make sure it's solid. It's gonna work, and so I think it is. I think we're good.
I think it is too.
It might be a little bit of a garbage can on fire, but just roll it down the street.
Well, I think we use structure loosely, right? Like,
Yeah. I don't live a
yeah,
very
I think it's
structured
probably,
life.
yeah. I wish too, like, this is something we're gonna look into, like, the old school radio talk show style, where like you could have like live callers,
Oh yeah.
and
Well, we
some
can do that
questions
when we
from like the
live
team.
stream. Yeah.
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, we can do that when we
Like,
live stream for sure.
like talk to people like in their everyday, like right now.
Yeah, totally. That's what I want to do when we live stream for sure. Because you can do like a Google phone and like you can get like a number that people can call in. My brother did it on his podcast. I guess I should pitch that out. My brother, Dinner with Schmucks. It's his
Is
podcast.
that still going on?
They haven't been doing much, but kid, busy work life. It's been when he was like
Get it.
in his last place, he did a lot more, but now it's like harder for people to come out and so and just life in general, but I mean, he put the work in. He was like every week for like years. So I don't even know how many. He's got like hundreds of episodes, I think. So he's got a
Oh,
ton.
wow.
Yeah, and some of those go on quite a bit. I've been on a few. So if you ever want to find me, and you just got to try to find me on my brother's podcast. I mean, they're in the description somewhere. I forget what numbers they are, but I don't know why you would want to go back and listen to me 4 years ago talk about things I don't even remember. Probably with my brother. Uh,
That's the best
you know.
reason to do that, actually. Yeah.
He's
Like a time
he's had
capsule,
some
right? Like,
yeah,
yes.
he's had some very interesting podcasts, is the least I could say. He's had some I don't know. Hey, if you want to check out Dinner with Schmucks, go check out Dinner with Schmucks.
I
They're great.
recommend checking out Dinner with Schmucks. Yes. You should
A
probably
little
do
bit of
that.
mystery. So yeah, we're gonna try to do this right now. We said once a month. It might turn into more. It all depends, honestly, on what works for us, how smooth
It,
this all
re-
went.
it
So
really depends if everybody likes it or not.
well,
So,
yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah, I think it's a big
yeah, you
contributing
got it. You
factor.
guys,
So
you
definitely
guys,
feedback, let us know. Like, we had a great time. At least I had a great time doing this. So,
yeah, you guys got to do your part. We did our part over here, so now you guys got to do your part. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow on Instagram, hit add friend on Facebook, whatever, wherever we are. Make that connection. We'll make it back,
yeah.
and we'll
Comment, what was it you said
reciprocate.
before? Below me was the comment of choice.
Yeah, that's the very first comment I want in this, and I'll know you're a
Yeah.
true OG if the first comment is below me, then I know you're a true listener because you made it through all of this.
And if we get like 50 blow me's, we're doing this weekly.
Now, and if we get 1,000 blow me's, we'll do this daily. But I doubt we'll get 1,000 blow me's to please.
Yeah,
I mean,
we,
you
we can
guys want
figure
to
this
prove
out
me
daily
wrong?
for 1,000
Yeah,
blow
if you
me's.
want,
They
yeah,
might
if
not
you
be 2 hours long, but like, well, yeah, we can figure
no,
that out.
no, I don't got time for that. My dogs would be like starving. They'd be like, "Feed me." I'd be like, "Hold on, I got a
Oh.
podcast to do."
So
Chill
now we're
out.
gonna be we're gonna be the blow me meme. It's gonna be like
Mm,
t-shirts and like hats and stuff. Yeah.
all right. Well, I guess I could talk to my brother. Can make some designs. He actually designed one shirt for his of a thing I drew um for the episode, and he like made a t-shirt of it.
Oh,
It was
nice.
yeah, it was cool. So he sells it too still. So he's got a lot of crap
Drop
to
the
sell
drop
on
the
that
link
one.
in the description.
Yeah, we'll put Dinner with Schmucks. There's who knows, maybe we'll actually have to do a team up with them. Maybe we'll get them back into doing it. We'll do a little
That was
Dinner
a
with Schmucks
large
and
team too,
Babcast.
right? Like they had like
Well, it
4 or 5
was when
people on it.
when they first started, yeah, when they were in their first location because they lived by each other, but now they're all in like different states, so they have to do it more. And he does more like audio stuff than video, where I like video.
Okay.
I love the audio too, but I'd rather, like I said, watch it than just listen. So yeah, maybe it's because I got crazy hands. That's why I try to stay animated for all you people that are.
And you're
Well,
not from New Jersey. That's weird.
no, I mean, my whole family is. I mean, my parents, everybody in my family is from Jersey, so North Jersey.
Yeah,
So I mean,
that explains it.
I was, I lived in Pennsylvania my whole life, but um, I was born in New York, so I was birthed in New York, I guess you could say. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Birthed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
genetically you're very
I popped out. I popped out in New York, and then I went right to Pennsylvania because we lived right on the border, so it was like that was the
you
closest
do.
hospital. So, all right, yeah. So let's end this up then. Thank you. It's always from what I've always known from every person I've talked with podcasts, ending the podcast is the hardest thing ever. So we're gonna try to
It's
get this.
incredibly difficult. So
Yeah, we're gonna try to
it
get
is
through this
over.
painlessly, quietly, softly. No
Ooh.
ASMR. I hate ASMR. We're gonna get into that next episode, I'm sure. But But yeah, we might do
Well,
the
it was on the list for this one, but then it was like, no.
yeah,
Like
well,
in big capital letters on the list, it's like, don't even
yeah,
do it.
we don't want to be here all night. So we'll get that. The next one so far that I know of is gonna be the drone one because that's the one I have set up next. We might fit one in before that.
Cool.
So if, like I said,
Is that the one where you have like folks like coming in, like other
yeah,
drone pilots talking? Okay, cool.
yeah, I'm gonna have drone pilots from all over the world be on this podcast with me. We're gonna talk just basically what we do it, why we do it, how we do it. We'll give tips, info, insight. They've got questions. It's just gonna be a
You've
good
got
thing. It's
answers.
gonna be it's gonna be like so. Hopefully by then, we'll have some people send in more questions, and I don't think we're gonna stream it. We might. Who knows? Who knows, baby? We'll get through it all. We'll do it. It all counts on you. It all counts on you. All right. Just so you know, you're important to us. We do this for you. If not, we're just talking to ourselves, and we could just do that on the phone. So it's all free.
There's nothing wrong with talking to yourself though. At the end of the day,
No, I do it all the time.
it's
All
fine.
the time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. This was,
Peace.
is, and forever will be the Babcast. And we will talk to you next episode. Again, go like, follow Daniel at Daniel R. Bab on Instagram, at Chris Consavage Christopher on Instagram. Is
It's
that
backwards.
your YouTube
Yep.
also?
Probably not. Actually, hold on. I'll
Yeah.
find out though.
I mean, I'll
I'm
put it
gonna
in the
find
description.
out.
Mine's
As
Daniel R.
as
Bab.
everybody can tell, I'm not like technologically inclined.
We're gonna shape Chris
Oh
up.
no, so my YouTube is Christopher Consavage.
Oh, so that's
My
the one.
Instagram is Consavage Christopher.
Yeah, got you. All right, so go
They're
follow
not the
him
same.
at Christopher Consavage on YouTube. I'm at Daniel R. Bab on everything except I think Snapchat, but I never use it, so who cares? I think that's Daniel R. Babs. Just add an S. All right. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Well, it's a good day here. So, but have a great one. We'll see you next time.
Peace.